up, guys? It is Precious back with another video. I'm sorry this video is so late, but I figured better late than never. And for those people that watch my videos that do not get the OWN network, that do not or cannot watch the actual show, they kind of count on me a little bit to get the reviews out. So I figured it's better late than never to this review. So without further ado, this is the review of season 4, episode 9, which is entitled Praying for Light. So let's get into the video. This episode starts out back at the Cryer's house, and Jim and Catherine get a visit from George. George is the DA, and he is coming over to their house to basically ask Jim about the photos that were found in Candice's house inside of the safe. Jim and Catherine get to explaining to him how Candice, you know, pretty much blackmailed Jim for $7.4 million, and how she had the pictures plus a video of him in some very provocative positions and things. Catherine didn't really know about the pictures and everything. She knew that he gave her the money, but she didn't know why and how he was being blackmailed. So the pictures were new to her. So bottom line, George came up to the house to get him to talk about, you know, Candice's character, to pretty much get Jim to sit down with Candice wearing a wire to explain, well, to admit that she blackmailed him out of this money, and he was going to use that as, you know, leverage to get her to kind of talk about the murder or whatever like that, about Quincy's situation, because right now it's not looking too good for their case. So yeah, the DA is trying to get Jim to cooperate, and Jim's on the fence about cooperating. He doesn't know whether he's going to do it or not. So the DA is pretty much trying to tell him, well, I would hate for these pictures to get leaked, so you need to decide whether or not you're going to do it or not. And so Catherine's like, well, dang, Jim, everybody fucking you. You getting fucked by women's and by men's, because he's pretty much almost kind of like blackmailing Jim into working with him, or else he'll leak the pictures. So he leaves, and then Catherine's really upset with Jim, and she's asking him, you know, like, what does this girl have between her legs that's got your mind blown? You must really care about this girl. You must really like her, whatever, because a couple years ago, you would have been, you know, had her killed, or you would have done something major to her, and she's still out here living, walking around, she's still free, whatever, and she done caused you all this pain, and you think I'm the crazy one? Scene change. So now we're with Candice and Benny and Quincy Jr. and Hannah back at the hotel. And Benny is pretty much telling Candice she cannot leave under no circumstances. She cannot leave that hotel room. And so Hannah asked her where was she going anyways, and that she need to go turn herself in. Her and Benny need to go turn themselves in. Now at this point, Hannah still doesn't know what, you know, what part Candice or Benny played in it, but she just knows that something happened between them two and is a connection with Quincy. So they're having a little petty conversation, Hannah and Candice. And Hannah's like, I know you don't really care too much about me. You may not even care about Benny, but show some care for your son. Don't have the police kick in the door looking for you and let him see that. And Candice is like, well, he doesn't seem worse. And so Hannah's like, oh, Lord, please just tell me you're just saying that just to get to me and not saying it because you mean it. And so, you know, they're just going back and forth with their mother-daughter rivalry and all that type of stuff. And then, so then we get to a point where Candice asks Hannah, you know, does God answer all of her prayers? And Hannah says, yeah, all of them except for one. And she was like, well, which one is that? And Hannah's like, well, I asked God to bring you in, and he hasn't answered that one yet. And so Candice is like, well, I'm here now, so maybe God did answer that. And so Hannah's like, well, maybe he did. So then Candice says, well, you know what? Can we just say a prayer right now? I'll lead it. Oh, Jesus, can you tell me who my daddy is? And she's real faking and being real funny or whatever. And so she asked Hannah, does Hannah know who her daddy is? And Hannah goes, I don't. And she goes, well, you can't even tell me who my daddy is, and you want to give me advice on how to treat and raise my son. And she's like, I do, but I'm trying to help you. And so Candice is still trying to leave. And Benny pretty much tells her if she tries to leave, he will manhandle her. And she's like, you'll manhandle me? And he's like, yes, I'll manhandle your ass to save your life. And I thought it was real funny because just the other episode, last episode, was it last episode? I think it was last episode. When Hannah slapped him, she told him the same thing. Yes, I'll beat your ass to save your life. So now he's trying to take a page out of Hannah's book and try to put that on to Candice. Moving on. So now David and Erica are out to dinner, and she gets a phone call, and so she excuses herself from the table. It is Candice calling her. Candice is on the phone. Candice is pretty much calling her to tell her, she's going to wait till Benny goes to sleep and leave the hotel room. And when she does, she's going to need a wig and some clothes and some shoes when she does. And she wants Erica to get those items for her. So Erica's on the phone and she's like, okay, I'll get them, and she's asking her questions. And again, I still think something in the water ain't clean about Erica. She be asking the weirdest questions sometimes, and she be acting a little strange. We already know she do a little strange thing for a little bit of change, but that ain't the point. I'm saying she be acting strange sometimes. But anyway, so she's asking Candice, like, where are you? Are you still in Savannah? And all this and all this. And Candice is like, why are you asking me that? She's like, I worry about you, girl. Now we did a scene change again. And now we're with Jeffrey and Police Booty. They're at a hotel and they're cuddling after one of their little encounters. And Police Booty is pretty much just telling him, he likes the vibe that he gets from Jeffrey. He likes to just chill with Jeffrey and cuddle with him and all this and all that. And Jeffrey's just really not feeling it. He's not buying it. Police Booty tells Jeffrey, he's sorry for everything, especially for how things started with them two. And Jeffrey, child, he could care less. He's really not buying it because Jeffrey says that he's going to jail anyway. So it's really no point in, basking in the ambience of a relationship or what could be between them two because he going to jail anyways, is what Jeffrey pretty much thinks. And so Police Booty tells Jeffrey, why don't you just say Candice do it? Why don't you just turn Candice in and say she did everything and just lie? Jeffrey wasn't really buying that plan, but anyways, Jeffrey gets a text message, and then it's Wyatt texting him, pretty much saying he needs help. So Jeffrey, he gonna go after Wyatt or try to help Wyatt any way he can, honey. And so he was like, oh, I gotta leave. A friend of mine needs help or whatever. And so Police Booty is like, I'm going too. And he's like, no, you don't have to go. And he's like, I'm a police, I'm going. So now, meanwhile, Hannah left the hotel room, and now Hannah is with War. She went to go visit War and to try to convince him to leave Candice alone, to quit hunting or looking for her or whatever, and to just leave her alone. And so War's like, he can't do that. And so Hannah's like, well, I think she's my child, and I think of you as my own as well, and I raised you, and I helped you, and I fed you, and we was cool, and everything. You can't do it for me. And he's like, no, I can't do it, whatever. And he's like, if my crew see me going soft, then they gon', they gon' fuck me up. And so Hannah's, she's begging and she's pleading for Candice's life, but War, he not dealing with it. So Hannah leaves, and he has one of his little goons follow her because he says that she's going to Candice. So now there's another scene change, and now we are over at Veronica's house, and Veronica's walking in the door, and Melissa is sitting on the couch. She's talking to Melissa, and she's pretty much telling Melissa to get her feet off her couch and not doing a good job with Jeffrey. It's probably because you got hair on your legs. You need to go shave your damn legs, and you need to do what you need to do to get my son. And she's like, well, it's hard because he don't want me. He would want me if I had, let's say, hair on my face, but he don't want me. And so she's like, what are you trying to say? Because you picked a good day, because I'm in my bitch mode, so you picked a good day. So what is it you got to say? And so obviously, Melissa retreats. She don't really say too much. And So Melissa did mention that her father's medical bills hadn't been paid that month. And Veronica's like, well, when you start making some progress with my son, then maybe I'll pay the medical bills. Until then, why don't you go and shave your damn legs and take your ass upstairs and be ready when Jeffrey get here. So then Veronica goes over to her laptop to look at things, and this is where we see that she was checking to see if she had any footage on this camera, the camera that she placed inside of the flowers that she delivered over to Erica. But if you remember, David told Erica to put those flowers outside of the room. And so she's like, David, you know me too well. You must have told her to throw them out. Well, oh well, I'll get in another way, or something, like she says. I'll keep trying, or something. So now we are over at Wyatt's house. So Justin and I've been trying to say too many of these people's names. I've been getting confused. Justin and Jeffrey, okay, get over to Wyatt's house. And Wyatt's on the couch. You know, he's still fiending or whatever. And Quita and her little boo thing is over there on the bed asleep. And so Justin walks through the door with his gun out and everything. And Justin goes over to the bed. He wakes them up, and they're like, oh man, what's this? What's this? And let's see. And then Police Booty recognizes Quita. He's like, Quita Maxwell, what you doing here? And Quita's saying like, what? Nothing. I'm not doing nothing. He invited me here. And Wyatt's over there on the couch like, no, I didn't. And then Police Booty tells Jeffrey to handcuff Quita and her little boot thing over there. So she's like, no, Quita and her little boot thing are pretty much saying, you know, they just came over to Wyatt's house because Wyatt seeked after them for some drugs or whatever like that. And Wyatt's trying to say, no, they had a plan. They was going to rob me. They was going to do this. They was going to do that. So meanwhile, Justin is Police Booty. So if I switch between the two names. Anyways. So Justin is on his little walking. He's talking to his backup police or whatever like that. They're like, okay, we're 20 seconds out. They get to the door. It's just like a big mess. There's a whole lot that happens after that. Because it starts to happen fast. And it's kind of like hard to try to pinpoint exactly what happened. And so Jeffrey is over there talking to Wyatt like, man, are you okay? And all this and all that. And Jeffrey's like, man, help me. I need something. And then Jeffrey's telling him, you need to call that number I gave you, which I'm guessing that's the number to rehab. And Wyatt, Wyatt don't really care about no damn rehab. He's just trying to get high. And so he's like, no, man, I can't call that number. And then Jeffrey's like, the only help I can give you is if you call that number. And he's like, no, man, come on. He's grabbing on Jeffrey. He's Jeffrey. Yeah, that's right. He was grabbing on Jeffrey. And he was trying to get Jeffrey to sit down on the couch. And Jeffrey's all upset. He's trying to walk away from him and all this. And so Police Booty looks at him over there grabbing at him. And he getting mad because, he thinks Jeffrey is his man. And so he goes over there and confronts him, and they have this big little blow up about, what, you must be in love with him. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's not even gay. He's like, well, why is he grabbing on you then? And it eventually leads to a fight between Jeffrey and Police Booty, and they are like physically fighting. And then Wyatt gets off the couch and tries to pull Police Booty off of Jeffrey. And now they're all three into this big old fight. And he has, Police Booty has a gun, obviously. He had his gun out. And then the gun gets squabbled on the floor somewhere. And then backup comes to the door. So the guy that was supposed to be his backup comes to the door. And when he comes to the door, Jeffrey is holding the gun. So now he's pointing his gun at Jeffrey, thinking, what is happening here? My partner don't even have his gun. Is this, he don't know what happened. So he's pointing the gun at Jeffrey, and then Police Booty tells him, back off. It's cool. Don't shoot her. Don't, just go away or whatever. So that is where this episode ends. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as soon as I hit 500 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. And so if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. don't forget to leave a comment. And so, bye for real this time.